now it's Monday morning. We have a system that we installed just about a year ago that had a leak. We had to find a leak. Turns out we went back Saturday morning and it's leaking at the coil and the air handler. So I'm running to Sid Harvey, our supplier, to pick up a coil. They said they have it, but I'll believe it when it's in my hand. And then I'm going to shoot over to a job site that we're installing another swap in Bethpage. So I'm going to give it to the mechanic that's there. The plan is, because last week I had 2 guys out on vacation, which will never happen again, having 2 guys out in July. Second week in July, they're my best AC guys out. So last week was like hell for everybody. Hell for the office, hell for me, hell for my guys, because everything got put on them. So one of the 2 is back this week. His name is Joe. Good mechanic, good guy. He's been with me a long time. He's going to start the install. I'm going to have the guys help him, obviously. And then probably about noon, I'm going to have him pull off with one of the junior mechanics and go swap this coil out. And I'll have one of my other service techs meet them on the job site and just make sure everything's buttoned up real good. Probably going to call Joe in a few minutes because it's almost 8 o'clock. I usually call the office like 8:15, figure out everything that's going on. Right now, it's a quiet Monday, but that could change real quick. Call Joe Koch.
Hello.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
What's up, buddy? How was vacation?
Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Yeah? Did you catch any fish?
Caught a lot of fish that one day.
Nice. Any keepers?
Shitload of pork. 2 40s.
Nice.
And 1 doormat. Or was it? It was like 27 inches.
That's big. We were we caught a 19 and a half inch yesterday. We were pretty happy.
Nice.
You're heading over to Bethpage. They gave you the address?
Yeah, I'm 2 minutes away.
All right. So this guy's, he's all right. I take care of his mother's house and we take care of his brother's house down in Babylon.
Okay.
Easy swap. I'm going to Sid Harvey Medford right now to pick up a coil at a job that we installed a Fujitsu system like a year ago. And that coil's got to get swapped today. So the plan is have you guys rock and roll this morning. I'm going to come meet you. I'm going to drop you the coil. Then I'll have you and whoever you want, Nick or Mike or whatever, to pull off and go swap this coil out in the attic.
Okay.
Probably around lunchtime, yeah. As soon as you go up the attic steps, the air handler's right to your left. There's plywood there. And the condenser's front left side of the house. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.
All
All right, bye. So next up on the list is we're going to the supply house, picking up the coil. I don't want to put the whammy on it, but it's an easy swap. It's right there. We gave the guy a good number. Like I said, we take care of his mother and his brother, 2 separate houses for a long time. I think his brother was probably one of my beginning customers. Like, I don't know if the very beginning, but he's been with me a long time. They needed a system. They had a price from another guy. They called me. Our price was better, which it can't always be better, but some of these guys really swing for the fences. It's a tough industry. Like anyone who's watching it's in the HVAC industry. You have your costs, you have your labor costs, and then you have your markup. And you really can't deviate from that because you end up doing jobs and not making any money. And that's not good. I mean, granted, it's work for the guys, but you really have to stick to your guns. And a lot of guys, you could ruin an industry. You get a couple of guys lowballing prices, then everyone's got to kind of lower their price to get the work. And it gets cutthroat. It's like, they call it the race to the bottom, and so I try not to do that. I try to stick to, this is my cost, this is my labor, this is my markup, because the markup's what you need to run your company, and that's it. Like we were saying last video, you could have a month where you gross $250,000 and not make any money, depending on what bills are coming out that month. And then the customers are thinking he's charging me all this money. He's probably making all this money. And even the guys, like a lot of business owners say not to do it, but I bring my guys in and I let them know my numbers. Last meeting, I showed them my numbers. I told them this is what we made. This is what our costs were. This is what we made after all of it. So they understand, because a lot of times they'll see on the ticket $10,000 change out, or $11,000 change out, or a $9,000 boiler, or a $15,000 gas conversion. They'll say, oh, must be making a lot of money. But at the end of it all, unless everything runs perfectly, then you make money. But shit goes awry all the time. Everything could be good, truck could break down. Everything could be good, one of the guys get hurt. Everything could be good, one guy puts a foot through a ceiling. You know, like someone stains a carpet. Like there are so many variables in this particular business. I mean, every business has variables, but this particular business, you're in and out of residential homes. You know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. At least then you're where we were. The boys are good. So Nick, with the blonde hair, is he's been with me since he graduated high school, which was last year. So he's been with me a year and a month. He's from the Ryan Anthony Head Start, so he came to all the meetings, still comes to all the meetings. Good worker, good kid. And then Nick, L, and Mike, I call him Coach Nick, Coach Mike, because they actually coached PAL football on my son's team. So now we have the three of them. I didn't need all three guys at the same time, but I had a feeling like they would jive together really good. It's a year in, and like they can do boilers by themselves now. Like it took a while, but like they can do that stuff by themselves. Today they were doing a swap out. So they were changing the condenser and air handler in the attic. Condenser's outside. But as you saw, you probably got filmed, they were leveling the pad, making sure everything's good, because that's priority. And then getting that customer back up and running, because what was happening at that particular house is he was popping breakers because basically the compressor goes bad and overdraws. And it's an R22 system, which you can't get compressors for. So he had to upgrade the system. Buddy? How we doing? So we're going to look at a job we did on Friday. Something's going on with the relief valve on the water heater. I think it's the temperature's set too high on the control, and it's getting too hot, and the relief valve's blowing. This company does soundproofing for like Caterpillar, Cummins. One of the bigger customers is SpaceX. It's like you go and you have to sign in and whatever else. So I'll just run in and I'll let you guys know what I find, and then we'll go to the office. So not exactly everything goes to according to plan as we had an hour ago, mixing in some stuff. I have to call Mike. They wired the control wrong. What's up, buddy?
Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Where are you?
Yeah.
You guys told me that you ran the water heater to temperature and you let it shut down, right?
I believe so, yeah, the first time, yeah.
Are you sure?
The first time we were there, like, yeah, shut off. Turn on the faucets. Yeah.
I know, but you ran the water heater to temp and it shut off.
Yeah, it shut off the first time.
Well, you guys wired it hot, so that would be impossible.
How do we wire it hot?
You wired it direct hot voltage into the burner circuit. Not going through the relay.
You bypassed.
Yes.
The relay, is what I'm saying.
Yes. You tied all the blacks together.
Which means your aquastat's not going to do shit.
Your power had to go into your red and white, your line L1, and then your burner circuit was the black wire. So a couple of things. I'm not calling to be mad at you guys, because obviously we shut it down, but something like that could be bad if we didn't do that. There's a reason why I need things done a certain way, right? So
Yeah.
we got to physically inspect the flame, or unless we have a smoke test, because in the water heater you have insulation. You have probably about 3 inches of insulation to get through, and then there's a plug that you pull the plug out for the chamber. Eventually, if you guys cut corners, I'm always going to end up finding out, or someone's going to go back and find out. All right, so every job we have to do the same way. It has to be repetitive every single time, all right?
Yeah.
But especially with the wiring, like you guys under no circumstance can ever leave a job site or a house unless you run and cycle that system to temp and make sure it shuts off, because you could have, catastrophic shit if you left it.
Okay.
You understand? It's very, very important. So once again, I'm not yelling at you guys, but you guys need to know so we get better, right?
Yep.
All right, no shortcuts.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
All
All right, bye. If I could say anything to anybody, anytime you think you're going to take a shortcut and it's going to actually work out, never happens. Because it's either going to rear its ugly head within seconds of you leaving, or a month or a year. And then you're going to get caught, and we call it getting red-assed, because you're in trouble. Because then it's physically obvious that you made a shortcut, knowing that you made a shortcut, and you tried to get away with it. So just do it right the first time. So here we go. Pump down for the
Talk to Joe about that Amanda Perlmutter.
So now we just basically, I go through all the calls that came in, either over the weekend or even this morning, because everyone usually waits till Monday morning. I check my emails. This guy wrote a whole slew of things that he's looking for, because he's GCing, right? We talked about this earlier. He's GCing his own project. Really not something we like getting involved in. Hey, Patrick, this is Ryan from Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning. If you can, give me a call back. You had sent an email in and some photos of your boiler that you wanted upgraded. I should be here for the rest of the day. 631-422-0294. Thanks. A lot of people don't answer the first time. And then they usually call us when we have lunch.
So wait, he was who was that guy?
He sent photos and he wants a boiler upgrade. And this is Andrew Wen, who we did a gas conversion for in Plainview, and then he just bought a new house in Great Neck, which we don't normally go to, but for him we will. Sometimes I'll be sitting here waiting for something to happen, and then next thing you know, 5 jobs come in. And that, like I said, 19 years in business, so anyone that says they have it figured out is lying, because day to day you really don't know what your next week's going to look like, which can be very frustrating. The only time it's good is like when people are really preparing for the season, because then you schedule out. Now we're in the season, so it's really just whatever's breaking, we have to hurry up and get it fixed. So that's 3:30. We got all of our office stuff done, all of our phone calls, set up appointments for the week. I know you have a bunch of questions, but right now we're leaving the office. We're gonna go to Dick's Sporting Goods store, because we got my son a basketball hoop. He's gotten really into basketball. I tell people this all the time. People are like, oh, I'll wait till this time of year to upgrade my boiler. I'll wait till this time of year because I'll get a better deal. And that's, if anyone's seen what's happened the last, even 5 years the most, because the prices of things have only increased. Insurance premiums have gone up, material has gone up, labor costs have gone up. So if you're going to do something inevitably and you have to do it, there's no time like now. Get it done. Listen, I totally get it. No one wants to buy an air conditioner. No one wants to buy a boiler. It's not something you're going to invite your friends over and say, look at my fancy new boiler or fancy new air conditioning. I get it. But you do need it. So at least what I've come to terms with, because I used to, go back and forth and try to procrastinate and not do certain things, and it's only cost me money. So if you're going to do it and you have to do it, there's no time like now. And that's probably the best advice I can give anybody. So we work the same amount of days all year round. There's no time of year where we're working less, just the way it is. And you can never put a finger on it. So if you go outside and you look at your condenser on the outside unit, if you go outside and it says R22 refrigerant, it's definitely time for an upgrade. Reason being is it's old. Number 2 big reason why is they don't even make parts. They don't make replacement compressors. They don't make replacement A-coils for your air handlers. They don't make any of that for R22 anymore, which forces you to now upgrade. So if you have, like, and I hear this all the time, I have an old system, I never got it serviced, it's never failed me. Well, it's gonna fail eventually, all right? So instead of playing, Russian roulette, be proactive, get it upgraded prior to having a problem and being forced to go without air conditioning, and that would be a good thing. Cast iron units will last you 25 to 30 years. So if you go down and you punch in your model number of your boiler, that should be on a tag, depending on how old the boiler is. You could type it into Google, it'll tell you the age of your system. If it's over that 25, 30 year mark, it's gonna be time to start thinking about a new boiler. If it's a steel boiler, 15, 20 years. I mean, listen, I've seen them go 25, but look how far technology's come in the last 2 years, 3 years. You have a system in your house that's 30, 40, sometimes they're 60 years old. Were they sized right? Is it working optimal? What's my efficiency like? Those are all questions you got to ask. So, when you're getting to that mark, once again, you're rolling the dice on when there could be I hate to use the word catastrophic, but I guess your boiler failing or starting to leak in the dead of winter is kind of, at the time, would feel like catastrophic. So you want to be proactive, and if you want your unit to last, if you have a newer unit, make sure you're getting service every year. Make sure the guy servicing your unit is doing the right thing on the maintenance. Meaning, if he sees a problem, or he sees a leak, or he sees some stains on the boiler from water dripping from a bad gasket, or that stuff gets rectified sooner than later. Otherwise, it creates a mountain out of a molehill. Maintenance. Maintenance is very important, and it's not just maintenance having us come and maintain it. It's your maintenance. Like in an HVAC system, there's air filters. Sometimes people don't even realize they have filters. And if you leave a filter on your unit unchecked and it gets real clogged up, that's when units freeze up, units struggle to run. And if you make something struggle to run, you're going to lower the life expectancy of the system. As far as the boiler, very similar. Like on an oil-fired system, just like you get oil changes in your car, you got to get all the filters, the nozzles, strainers, they all have to be replaced and checked. You want to make sure you got not only all the sludge out of your system, but you also want to make sure that there's no water in your system, because sometimes that could be a worse problem than sludge. If anyone's had to deal with water in their fuel tank, it's a major problem. It's almost like a pink substance, and sometimes when we change a filter, it's like a brown. But it's water in the fuel. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes you have a seal on your outdoor tank or berry tank that's not sealed properly. It's allowing water to get in. You don't even know it. So maintenance is going to tell you that. And let the professionals do it. I don't change my own oil in the truck. You shouldn't change or try to tune up your own boiler. So stay in your lane. On an HVAC side, it all depends on the tonnage. So like today, we replaced a 4-ton system. I want to say we were around like $9,300 for a standard, I believe it was 13 SEER or 14 SEER, 454B, new refrigerant, but it's straight up AC only. If you would have went with a Bosch, which is another product that we like to install, that Bosch system is a little bit high. You can get a 15 SEER or 20 SEER or higher. We usually, go with a 15 SEER, and that 15 SEER has heat pump capabilities. And I truly believe that heat pumps are going to be the future of where we live. If anyone's going to spend any money in any way, I think that's the best way to spend it. Forget about converting to gas or anything like that. If you're going to spend some money and you need to upgrade your HVAC unit, I would definitely go with something that has heat pump capability. So, and the Bosch does a great job on that. So home renovations depends on the job. Like a bathroom should be 2 weeks, 2 maybe 3, depending if they're getting a custom vanity. That all depends. Kitchens, we're usually 5 weeks. We're usually 2 cabinets by week 3. Cabinets are installed by the 3rd week. Then you template for your countertops. That usually takes a week to a week and a half. And then once the countertops are in, you have your plumbing and electric, and we wrap up the job. So I always tell people when we sign a job that are doing a kitchen or anything with a custom top, that we're going to be the biggest hero ever for the first 3 weeks, and then you're gonna question if we walked off the job or we're doing other more important things for that lull week because no one could really do anything until that top's on. And, it's kind of a funny thing. We tell the customers, like, before they sign a contract, like, just so you know, when it comes after week 3 and the cabinets are in, you're going to think we left you, but we're waiting. So anything else like an extension, I want to say the extension we just did, I think we're in week 4. We would have wrapped last week, but the client wasn't sure what kind of flooring she was going to do. So she ended up going with a vinyl flooring, and we're actually doing the flooring layout tomorrow, and they're going to install it on Wednesday. But once that floor's in, we can finish the rest of our trim, and we're out of there. So if you're looking to do a dormer extension, a portico, or anything like that, your first step, you could call us. But your first step and your first meeting really should be with a licensed architect. And the architect is going to get you a set of plans to provide you the capability to get pricing. And we go over this a lot, anyone who ballparks a price without a set of plans on a job like that is going to crush you in change orders and when the actual price comes in. I can't tell you, there's been a lot of jobs that we've gotten because customers about to sign a job, was waiting for the plans, got a ballpark estimate, and then when the plans landed, the price jumped to $100,000 or $150,000. Then all right, that's unexpected. So they leave and they look for another contractor. We've gotten a lot of jobs that way. So, a bigger scale job, you definitely want to contact an architect first. Smaller scale, which nothing's really small or inexpensive anymore, but, bathrooms, kitchens, basement renovations, stuff like that, just give us a call. We can get you the renderings and show you what it's going to look like before we started. So full home renovation, once again, it depends what you're doing with the kitchen. A lot of budget gets spent on very expensive appliances or countertops or kitchen cabinets. So it really depends on what you're doing. Like, we just did a renovation in East Hampton, right? That renovation was like over $900,000. We basically ripped the whole house down to the studs and redid everything. So that was a big project, So, then we also did one in Dix Hills where we did the bathrooms and everything. Customers pick the finishes and do that stuff. And that was, I want to say like $350,000. So it really varies on how many bathrooms, square footage, stuff like that. Don't forget, East Hampton also was an extension dormer, so that goes into the cost. We changed their roofing. We did metal roofing. We did a flat roof. It was an involved job. The best thing to do is to get all your ducks in a row first. If you got a big project, sit with an architect, get a solid plan together, start picking out your finishes, even before you have the plans. You could still go and have some sort of budget for your finishes, for your fixtures, for your tile, for your flooring, and then it's going to help you determine which way you're going to go and how much money you have to do add-ons. Because what I find is a lot of people don't do their homework and they go into a project and they start running out of money, and then it gets a little ugly, because now you got a project that's 3/4 of the way done and they're running out of money, and now everyone's in a bad mood. So proper planning, it goes a long way. Well, how far out are you booked? And listen, whoever's listening to this, you guys could chime in. I'm in business 19 years. We do about $3 million a year in revenue. So we're a pretty busy company for our size business. We don't have a tremendous amount of guys, but we run a decent amount of trucks. I'm never more than a week to 2 weeks out. And I always tell everybody that if it's an emergency and you're down, I will ask someone to move. So a lot of times you get a salesman in and they'll give you that high pressure sale. Salesman going to come in and they're going to want you to sign contract at the kitchen table in your house, because once he leaves, the percentage of him closing the deal diminishes. So they're going to want to push it and say, oh, well, we're 6 weeks out or we're 8 weeks out, and make it sound more important than they really are, and then fit you in sooner. It's kind of like strategy, but I just never like bullshitting anybody. It's not my thing. So I always tell everybody, and everyone's always like surprised, like, oh, you're a decent sized company, you're only a week out? Yeah. Listen, do I wish I was 4 weeks out? Absolutely. But in this business, like I said, no one's really spending the money unless they really have to. So it's not always planned work.